Call the meeting to order, and I'm going to ask CeeLo to lead us in the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you, everybody. And Abby, if I do not follow the Robert's rules to a T, please let me know. But last time we had two nominations for board chair, and they were both Trustee Fitzwater and Trustee Jenkins. And so because we didn't have a quorum and we ended up with a tie, I believe I would ask if there is another nomination for chair. Okay, Jason?
Brad, with some issues at work, I will pull my nomination.
Oh, okay. So so Trustee Jenkins is pulling the nomination for chair. So is there another nomination at this time?
Move the nomination cease.
Okay, so I have that, we have nominations will be ceased. I can,
Someone has to nominate him.
oh, I do, so I do need okay,
Mr. Superintendent, I nominate Billy Fitzwater.
okay, so I have one nomination. Seconded, all seconded, any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all in favor of the motion, say aye. Any opposed? So congratulations, and I will give you the stuff.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Guess moving forward, do we have a nomination for vice chair?
Nominate Jason Jenkins.
Do I have a second? Second. Okay. Do I have any other nominations? Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Is there any other nominations? Okay. All in favor of Jason Jenkins? We probably should raise hands, huh? Please raise your hand. Okay. All in favor of Dana Mann, please raise your hand. So 5-4. So Jason, congratulations. I don't need to. Okay, nomination of clerk. I was.
I'll nominate Joe.
I'll second.
Okay, is there any other nominations? Okay, all in favor of Joe, please raise your hand. All opposed? Congratulations, Joe. Can I have a nomination for board treasurer? I'll nominate Dana Mann, would you mind?
I'm happy to do that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do I have a second? Okay. Is there any other nominations? Okay. All in favor of Dana Mann Tavigi, please raise your hand. All opposed, same sign. Congratulations. I do have one change to the agenda. I think we want to add an executive session after H2.
Discuss this too.
Yeah, discuss student matter.
Mr. Chairman, I move to um amend the agenda to add the executive session as item J, I'm sorry, as item I, and move adjournment to J to
Okay,
discuss a student matter.
I'll second that.
okay. It's been properly, motion and properly second to amend the agenda to add J as executive session, discuss student issue and adjourn to J. So is there any discussion? Okay, seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
All right.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Okay, can I have I guess I don't need well, I need still to approve the agenda now, don't I? Can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, all in favor of the agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Is there any recognitions? Go ahead, Brandy.
Thank you. I would like to recognize Cody Nelson. He puts together the food drive we do at the elementary every December. And this year we collected 1,497 pounds of food to donate to the bread office. So he collects all of it and delivers all of it, and then he supervises the party for the winners. So I appreciate all the work he does there. Also like to congratulate the December Good Citizens, Brody Smith, Josie Lund, and Priscilla Harris.
Thank you, Brandy. Bryce?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to recognize 3 students, Archer Onstad, Ethan Parsons, and Annika Olson. They won a $1,000 Innovation Award from Samsung for their third world computer project, trying to find low-cost computer parts and build them with protective casings so they can be durable in a less structured environment.
Thank you, Bryce. Tyler?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I got a few. First would recognize Mr. Alan Von Eye. He was once again named the Middle School Coach of the Year for the Wyoming Coaches Association for the fall season. Obviously, those boys had a really successful football season again. And if you remember, he has stepped down from that spot for us, but he went out on a high note. So shout out to him. Had some other athletic success. Our B girls basketball team, which is what it's called with the restructuring of the district, but it's our 7th graders. They were district champs here at home on December 19th. Our middle school boys wrestling team finished 2nd at districts. This might sound familiar, but this is a little bit different. Sheila Munger was named the VFW Junior High Wyoming Teacher of the Year for Social Studies, and I think it's pretty fitting. But they've been nominated by our local VFW. You know, Robert won the state award last year, and Sheila has this year, and they are kind of a package deal. So kudos to Sheila. These guys have heard all about it, but I would give Tracy Leonard and the kitchen staff a big shout out for rolling out the a la carte menu at the middle school and high school. Business is booming at the middle school. I can tell you that for sure. I think we're going to at least recoup some finances that way. And it's a lot of work. It takes a lot of people doing a lot of different things. But just 2 days of doing it, it's gone really, really well. So shout out to Tracy and the ladies. I had 4 gentlemen help me today unloading the totes of Hope food delivery. So that was Roman Diaz, Trenton Lynch, Nolan Costa, and Hunter Finley. I appreciate their help. And I would recognize Adam and the maintenance department. We have working showers in the boys and girls locker rooms for varsity contests now. I really hope people use them. I mean, it'd be great if they would, but they at least have the option now. So thank you to Adam and the maintenance department.
Thank you, Tyler. Adam?
I just got one. Congratulations. Sophia Tidyman had her baby last Thursday. So she's out for a while.
Okay, is there any other recognitions? Oh, go ahead, Brad.
Mr. Chair, thanks. And just, I don't know if how many people got to see the Wyoming State Daily, but recognition for the passing of Gene Baldwin and then all the work that he did over the years. I don't know if you noticed, but the announcer booth, the photo came in, is not today's announcer's booth. So that'll give you just a little indication about how long ago that may have been. But Wanted to recognize him and his family for all the support over the years for the Dogies that they did represent.
Thank you, Brad. Denver.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to recognize Matt Conzelman for being chosen to be on the coaching staff for the Shrine Bowl Go North.
Thank you. Jason?
And I'd just like to recognize, we got some activities this weekend, so I think just fitting to recognize all the volunteers that help out the district with the tables and all that stuff, so.
Thank you. Is there any other recognitions? Seeing none, we'll move on to visitors' comments. Staff input or special programs. Do we have any on Zoom land? Okay. Okay, we'll move on to F, action items. Consent agenda.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the action items consent agenda. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Go
I
ahead.
need
Bill.
to abstain from voting on action item E due to a conflict of interest. Sorry, not E. It is F.
Okay. Okay, so we'll we'll vote on A through E, and then we'll vote on F separate.
And A through E and G.
Oh, yeah,
Is it?
there's a G, okay. F and G. So we'll do F separate, everything else together. Is there any other discussion? Okay, all in favor of approving the consent agenda A through E and G?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Okay. Can I, it's been motion or properly moved and seconded to vote on F for the community education extra duty. And the discussion, Joe is gonna abstain from the vote due to conflict. Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Is there any old business? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to new business. A, consider the yearly meeting dates and times. Okay, is there any discussion? Okay, seeing none, all in favor of new business A, consider the yearly meeting dates and times. Please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Approval of 27-28 school calendar year. Can I get the recommendation?
Yeah, I would recommend that, the calendar that is in your packet to the board.
Okay. You want to make a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead.
move to approve the 27-28 school calendar.
Been properly moved and seconded to approve the 27-28 calendar. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Okay, G, for your information, we'll just start. Bo, do you got anything?
The new store. This is the one-stop shop. We have a pharmacy. We have a bootlegger's liquor. The deli, the food that you can get at a lunchtime is so amazing. The coffee shop. Certain Friday mornings, there's 30 people sitting here in all these chairs. This is the hub for people to come and visit, have their coffee, have their donuts. It's amazing what this area has done. Totally amazing.
We'll just start. Bo, do you got anything?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Not a ton really, just some updates on some stuff. We did get the switch changed out over Christmas, so everything is where it should be and working the way it should be. We will also push the multi-factor out for certified tomorrow, so I really hope it goes well. I guess we'll have to see. And then after that, we're going to kind of judge to see how we want to push out it for the classified. So that's kind of where we are on the multi-factor. And other than that, we're going to start looking at backpacks for computers next year. So all sorts of exciting stuff.
Okay, thank you,
But
Bo.
that's all I have unless there's questions.
Anybody have any questions for Bo? Okay, Thank you.
Thank
Adam?
you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I don't have much. Tyler mentioned it, the showers in both varsity girls and boys got new wall mount showers in them. The plan is this spring, see how it goes, but like to do both middle school boys and girls, and everybody would have showers then.
Okay.
Other than that, unless you guys have questions.
Do we want to talk about the committee report real quick? If you want to talk about it? Or do you want us to?
However you want me to do it.
Well, have you do it. You can explain a little bit better.
So we fixed the slide at the elementary school last year. There's another, now the other slide is broke out. There's some rust on the swing sets, some other issues going on there. So I think with the board's direction, we're gonna move forward with doing a couple of the roof sections, rolling the dice on one so we can get the swing sets and all new playground at the elementary school. It's kind of what we discussed earlier tonight. I don't know what else.
And I think the one we were gonna hold off until next year was over the locker rooms, correct?
Yeah, so we'll,
Do the one.
and
with the
it all
auditorium.
depends on the legislators at the end of the day, but
Yep.
the tentative plan is we'll do the roof section over the auditorium because of what's below it, the roof section over the middle school gym because of what's below it. The little section over the locker rooms will hold off, which there's nothing wrong with any of them. Right now, we're just trying to be proactive. We'd hold off for a year to do that. But again, it all depends on legislators, what they decide on the HVAC system.
Okay.
And we won't know that till middle March, but we're gonna get the ball rolling on playground stuff, and once we commit to it, we're gonna be stuck with it. We can always back out of the roofs if we have to. Other than that, I don't have anything less. Anybody has
Does
questions?
anybody have any questions for Adam? Okay. So, you got anything, Tyler?
Quick, Mr. Chairman, if I could, positive, happy report here that we have 22 girls wrestlers out right now. And I will also tell you that I can add Coach Davidson to the list of people that always tell me they never want to work with middle schoolers. And then they try working with middle schoolers, and it sounds like she's having a pretty good time. So good job for the girls. 22 girls out, 38 boys out for basketball. So everybody's busy with activities and everything else. And then otherwise kind of short and long-term planning happening with all the different testing and surveys and different things. Trying to manage my good friend, the NAEP test that's coming up in February and communicating with parents about that. Y-top test planning happening. We're in the interim window as well. So we're kind of in both spots there, PNA surveys and all the other fun. We're really actually already starting to look at, February, March and April pretty hard. So other than that, unless you guys have questions, I don't have anything.
Does anybody have any questions for Tyler? Bryce?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Career and Trade Fair is going to be on February 18th. Right now, we have 95 RSVPs for individual tables. And so I'd say the first year we're in the 80s, last year we backslid to the 50s or 60s. And now this year, Mrs. Underseer had us do a pyramid scheme of call 3 people on one of our Friday blue afternoons. To see if we could recruit some different individuals from our networks personally to come in. And so I think that's been really helpful. And they've been working really hard getting that set up. And so that'll be February 18th in the afternoon. Freshmen and sophomores will rotate in sessions upstairs in the classrooms while the juniors or seniors are in the auditorium. And then they'll switch roles. So they'll get exposure to a lot of different careers that are our possibilities for them. And then CNA class has began. Kim and Andrea, Ms. Conzelman, Ms. Gregory were working on getting that going for some students. And so there's 6 students that are enrolled in the CNA class. This semester, it's going to be after school. We just couldn't really fit it into the school day. But next year, we're hoping we can get it scheduled into the school days so that the students don't have to have a 4 o'clock class. And then the team met about CDL class for next January to begin, and working on community partnerships with local businesses and individuals to help potentially sponsor equipment, sponsor students to get involved in that program. And that would be through EWC as well. They started a few years ago down in Goshen County with Southeast High School, Torrington High School, and Lingle Fort Laramie, and it's been a pretty successful program. So they're looking to expand in their college network to the Northeast. So I think it'll be a really good opportunity for kids and a meaningful class for them.
Thank you, Bryce. Anyone have questions? Jason?
Bryce, if they happen to be a student athlete, how would that work with that 4 o'clock class?
Or CNA or CDL.
No, if they were an athlete.
Yeah, with the
Which class?
CNA class.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Practice, like.
Is
Um,
I mean, are they one of those you got to pick either or?
I don't think any of those kids do conflict
Okay.
right now. That's a good question. If it were to happen, if we have to stick with that in the future, but hopefully with everybody having the best interest of the kids, and we could come up with a solution.
Is there any other questions?
So it is a problem. So no matter how you try to move it, your student athlete, eventually is going to have to make a decision because the class will go with the most numbers. And if it's a 4 o'clock or wherever, if it's during the day, that's your real saving grace. But even then, I know with other states and other programs, if you're going to be gone a couple days for a road trip and you miss a class, it can get a little touchy because that time in that classroom for that license, either one of them, is a different demand than what you have in what you would call a regular classroom setting. And so it takes quite a commitment from the young person that does choose that path because it's a different discipline than what most of us are used to.
Thank you, Bryce?
I guess a relatable example that we've had in practice for years is driver's ed. The students have to get driving hours, after school with the instructors. And so, and this just goes to when I was coaching soccer, I'd have to have girls sometimes miss practice because of, having to get their driver's hours in. And so we just worked with the instructors to do the best we could. One time with the weather and reschedules, a student had to miss a game, but I think it's important that students pass that driver's ed class too for their insurance and their parents' pocketbook. Yeah.
Thank you, Bryce. Sonia?
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. As Tyler kind of alluded, it's definitely testing season, middle of the year. And so just kind of getting that finished up or started, depending on which test you're looking at. And then, yeah, we'll just kind of do data meetings and take kind of a checkpoint of where students are and what supports we can put around them or extensions that we can offer them as well. So that's kind of coming on. I will say a big thank you to those teachers who are on state standards adoption committees. So right now there are soon to be 3 active committees that are open. ELA, so English Language Arts, is still open. It's like the never ending committee. But we do have a staff member that is on that, so they continue to work on that. We have a CTE committee that is going, that is, I think, just kind of about finishing up. We have 2 staff members that are serving on that committee and a social studies one that's about to start. So, so those will be the last set of the 10 standards that will go through the reduction process that the state board has set before us. So anyway, I would say in the next probably year to year and a half, all 3 of those hypothetically will be signed into law, and then we'll kind of make changes to put those into our system. And I guess lastly, thinking about the district assessment system, every quarter we usually collect information so that we can share with you on kind of how students are doing with respect to the standards and learning and multiple opportunities. Because of the change of the requirements in the state, we're kind of doing a little bit of tweaking to that. And so we'll wait till the end of the year and kind of show you what that looks like. It'll be more of an individual standard tracking system so that you will be able to see and be able to compare, former to prior standards all across the board. So will be the same skills you're looking at. So, I mean, that's kind of the main things we're working on, unless you have questions for me.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? Brandy?
Thank you. Well, start off on a positive note. We did an enrollment count today and we're up 2 students from the beginning of Christmas. So yay, that's a win. These guys all mentioned already, yeah, we're in our big week of testing and not the kids' favorite week of coming back and getting to do this for a full week, but it does help us drive instruction and tailor those interventions when we meet next week. So we also started boys intramural basketball. Our numbers are low. We only have 7 who came in. Lots of after school kinds of things happening right now. I will say though, when I went and watched it, there's 7 kids who normally probably wouldn't participate in activities outside of school and are developing a new love for basketball. So I still think even though the numbers are small, it's important and it's serving a good purpose. So. And then just a heads up, our children's choir has been invited to go back and sing another Rush game. So when I know more on that, I will let you know, but apparently they were a hit. So and that's all I have unless you have questions for me.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Sean?
Got some questions Brandy brought up for Bryce and Tyler. How many kids did we lose after Christmas this year in junior high and high school?
At the high school at the beginning of the year, and we had some part-time students who were like homeschool and taking 1 or 2 electives, or maybe attending another Wyoming public online school and taking electives. So at the beginning of the year, we were at 223. Today on our enrollment, I was actually looking at this today, we were at 216. And so that includes a few students that are homeschool, part-time, public online school. And so then I feel like we have 212 kids that are enrolled, as Newcastle students. Then we have 13 of those students are virtual school students, either part-time or half-time. And so as of today, we actually have 199 kids only full-time in the building. So it's not as positive as what Mrs. Holmes just said.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, but I can try to help. A little twist of irony. I have one student that decided with their family at semester to go do virtual homeschool, which we don't offer through the middle school, so they're doing something different. At that same time, I had another student who had recently thought they wanted to try virtual homeschool, come back to the public school, and then we actually picked up 2 more that have returned as well. So if you remember at the beginning of the year, I told you we were just under 200, and I think we're at 198 right now. We've stayed fairly steady with some in and out during fall semester, but otherwise it's about the same numbers, 198.
Thank you, guys. Is there any other questions?
Gordo and Gray all the way. I think it would be an epic. It's what Chuck's been picking the fight with him forever. Mark has responded a couple of times this year and gotten hot under the collar. Says he wasn't hot under the collar. I can believe it this last time that he maybe thought, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and ask him to step outside because it's what a Wyoming guy would do. I actually think it was a good play by him. I think he follows it up right now and says, hey, you know what? I think me and Chuck Gray ought to settle this like men. And so I'm going to run for the U.S. House seat.
Let's settle it on the ballot instead of the ring.
Yeah, and God bless Jenny Gordon. And I know that's a burden on families and everything if he does win. Chuck Gray is full speed ahead on it, but I want to see it, man. I want to see Gray Gordon, and I think we'll close on that, Alexis. Let's see it. Give the people the grudge match that they've been waiting for. Give the Wyoming voters the race that they deserve.
Thank you, guys. Is there any other questions? Okay. Angie?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't have a lot, working on the end of the calendar year stuff, W-2s, 1099s. It's payroll again. It seems like we just did payroll, but here we are again. Just that kind of stuff. Reading on the recalibration notes that Brad keeps sending to me, and so getting ready for budget stuff.
Does anybody have any questions for?
Have any questions for me?
Thank you, Angie. Brad?
Um, So
talking bad about me.
let me sort of tell you, I think most of you know that there is not there's not a lot of consistency in future planning with not only the loss of enrollment, but then you look at some of the legislative things. I always thought that maybe in my retirement life I would like to be an influencer. I found out today that I would not be very good at that, so I'm not going to try it. But I know that in your packet you have several talking points. But let me try to simplify it for I think everybody, in my opinion. They all take an oath that they're going to follow the Constitution. The Constitution basically clearly states that they're going to make sure that they take care of public education. If you look at the talking points, that's not taking care of education. We have spent several $1,000,000 over the years for a funding model. All they need to do is follow the Constitution and the funding model and let us do the rest. But with that said, folks, our enrollment is going to be a big factor. We've talked about it. We met as a leadership team. We're closer to being able to, maybe having a workshop with the board and rolling out some things. There's nothing that's real positive of that because truly what we're trying to do is save programs for our young people. But by doing saving programs, sometimes you can't take care of all your staff. And so I throw that out as sort of something that we all need to watch. I think the talking points are fine. But I even say that, the insurance stuff is one of those things that it just doesn't seem like our legislators want to let go of. They want to continue to micromanage that. And over the 33 years that I've been in Wyoming, most of the time when you start seeing the micromanagement, you'll see at the end that districts lose. And so, plain and simple, you got a funding model, fund it, and then get out of the local board's way.
Thank you, Brad. Any questions? Jason?
With what you said, Brad, about that, like you said, as long as I've been on the board, that funding model and with the lawsuit that the districts have going on, I just find it funny with some of our local representatives, how they're hanging their hat on the state is damn sure making sure they're taking care of their state employees. So I just wanted to
Tried to get through my part without high blood pressure, so I'm just going to be quiet.
Thank you, Jason. Okay, any other questions? Presley, go ahead.
Well, now that you're being mean, you're gonna help me with calculus when we get home. I don't have a lot. We are back in school. Second semester has started. Student council's planning snow coming, so very similar to homecoming, just kind of for the winter sports. Obviously, no parade or anything, but well, that too. But snow coming will take place the first week of February. Ironically, everybody competes at home that day or those weekends, or very close to home. I think wrestling's gone one day, but we'll all be home. So if you want to come out and watch some sporting events, that's where we'll be. That will also be our Make-A-Wish week. So student council will do a series of fundraisers to make a good donation to our state for Make-A-Wish. We're partnering with Sundance as kind of like a rivalry thing just to see who can raise more money. So that's in the works right now. FBLA is full swing state. State will take place in March. So we're just working on projects, getting all that prepared. A fun little note to add, FFA had their monthly meeting last night, and we did the first annual Mr. FFA pageant. So we nominated boys in as members, and then our officers also took part. So that was Cohen Tavigi, Ty Stith, Sean Paul, Lucas Benchoff, Troy Christensen, and TJ Harrington. So they were all nominated to participate. So there's pictures and stuff up on the FFA page. Ty did come as the reigning champion, so he's Mr. FFA until next year. So that was pretty fun. Kudos to our advisor Morgan for coming up with that idea. I guess it's like a state thing, like a lot of different states do it at their state level. So maybe we can have an influence on Wyoming. But I think that's really all I have.
Thank you. Any questions?
Mr. Chairman, I believe don't you have a babysitting event coming up too?
Oh, yes. We're also doing a babysitting event. So before break, we trialed and aired a babysitting night. Just kind of an excuse for a date night or time at home alone. It went really well. We didn't have a lot of kids. We expected a little more. But the ones we did have, we got to. I think the student council members had more fun than than the kids did. But we were able to have snacks, play in the gym. We had movies, Just Dance, all of the things. So we're going to bring that back again on Friday after the wrestling tournament to just see if we can get some more kids in, and then just a fun little fundraiser for all of us and get to see all the little kids we usually babysit. So that's pretty nice.
Okay. Can you also talk about what student council is doing with the lunch program? I don't know if everyone knows about that.
So when we went to state convention, one of like Wyoming Student Council's initiatives is the Hunger Initiative. And so a lot of schools get recognized for donating money or they can donate money towards their local lunch debt or they can donate it at the local level. So Mrs. Gordon comes and kind of hands out those awards. We're lucky enough to have people in our community that kind of already do that for us. So unfortunately, we weren't recognized at the state level just because we have great community members that kind of fill that position. So when we came back, me and Miss U decided that we needed to find something. We need to play some kind of part in it. And so we wanted to use our influence as like student council members to encourage kids that it's like okay to eat at the high school when you're a high school student. I mean, if you told me as a freshman that I'd be eating school lunch as a senior, probably would have laughed. But hey, I've done it twice, so here I am. But we kind of wanted to just use our influence to bring awareness to the kids that, don't get to go to Shortstop or Taco John's every day. And so it's been really nice. We just had our lunch for the week yesterday. We enjoyed some walking tacos. So those were pretty good. And we're hoping that in the future, whatever day student council decides to eat each week, that we can have some generous donations from our community to have school lunch be free for everybody that day. Obviously, this is a pretty hefty goal. It's not going to happen for a little while, but that's kind of our hopes so we can, appreciate our lunch ladies and our school lunch program and all of those things. So we're kind of using the Hunger Initiative as an influence, I guess.
Thank you. Is there any questions?
No.
Okay. Moving on. Does anyone from the board have anything?
BOCES met this afternoon. It was a really good short meeting. Theirs are always very short. Not a whole lot was discussed about the legislators and that situation, but I do have to say we are very blessed with Mrs. Konzelman because when you look at our numbers as opposed to many, many other areas, we rock. I mean, she's got it covered and she does a very, very good job and it shows. But otherwise, that was about it. Our numbers look great.
Thank you, Dana. Is there any questions? Did you have yours? Okay.
This lady had her hand raised.
I gotta help her with calculus. Go ahead. Presley, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I forgot to mention that I would like to give Mr. Beam some recognition. He requires that every advanced chemistry student makes a video on radon awareness. So Wyoming creates an initiative and you compete by creating a video in a contest. So if you didn't know, a lot of people in Wyoming die because of lung cancer because of radon in their homes. So, fun fact. Anyways, my group, Tony Williams, Kendall Von I, Lily Morrill, and myself, placed second for the state. And so we received an Amazon gift card, and we're currently in the running for most views to win some more money. So that was pretty nice of Mr. Beam to set us up for some shopping on Amazon for us.
Okay, is there anything else? If you need help influencing. Okay, is there any other committee reports or anything?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, I do have a number, to share with you that's a little shocking, and that is that, if Mr. Beitman from Sheridan County and his fellow caucus members continue to press for and end up being successful in forcing all school districts to join the employees group insurance, the cost to Weston County School District number 1 is approximately $1.3 million. With no new money to replace that. So let's currently, 1 of 48 school districts in Wyoming participates in the employees group insurance plan. 1, school districts have been offered the opportunity to join that plan since 2010. That's 15 years, where 47 school districts shopped around for the best plan at the least cost for their staff and did not choose the employees group insurance plan. That plan currently offers 4 different plan designs for their participants, whereas a group like WEP offers 9, so twice the offerings. Also, districts could not tailor their plan to fit their needs, what they need locally, what they decide their staff wants. For example, a number of hours worked, that you would never be able to adjust that again. Let's see. Anyway, there are quite a few points to that, and I will email you guys all some documentation as well as contact information for committee members to share some of these points. One that I haven't thought about a lot is that the state employees group insurance doesn't use local insurance companies, agents, consultants, etc. One that I haven't thought about a lot is that the state employees group insurance doesn't use local insurance companies, agents, consultants, etc. Whereas WisBait and WEPT do. So we're talking about the loss of private sector jobs as well. And just solely based on the idea that local control is really important to us, and it's important to our students, and it's important to our community. And this is, I'm just going to say it. Senator Beitman is not happy with an organization that won a lawsuit against the legislature, and because a couple members of that organization are also on some of these insurance group boards, it feels like it's a very much a personal attack. So, but obviously, if we're an average size district, 1.3 million times 48 is way over 50 million extra dollars that are totally unnecessary and unwarranted for us to spend. So that's that. And we will meet in February to look at what we will have to about rates going forward for next year. So I'll be emailing a lot of legislators, and then tomorrow, I know Brad was on. Did you participate in the PJP or did you just have the notes?
I did consider I participate.
Thank you. Me too. I'm gonna do one tomorrow morning. Professional judgment panel on recalibration. I'll be participating in that. Mr. Bartlett, how did yours go? Would you please? Please.
Yeah, well, so I did sign up for the morning session this morning, but then they never sent me the link. That was a whole thing. I don't know if that's what he's alluding to. So I really had to bang on the door a little bit to get another link, and I did jump in this afternoon. I missed actually Dr. Picus's his intro and slideshow and everything else, but I really got to take some notes on the superintendent's business managers and their back and forth with him, and that was interesting, as I mentioned. And I think what I heard, here's the number one thing I would tell you, because we'll talk about this for the next several months, but definitely the message I heard from superintendents and business managers across the state is the PICUS model is what it is. They don't typically adopt the whole thing anyway, whatever. What I think everybody's terrified for is if you take the PICUS model or any other model and you make it categorical. And I think that's what was said over and over and over again, that they are hoping he will even say to the legislators that it only works if it's a block grant. It only works if you still have local control and flexibility to move some things around. Because, for example, Dr. Picus thinks we should have less teachers, that teachers maybe don't need as much funding, but he thinks the research says that we should have more summer school staff. And this is just Tyler Bartlett talking. Summer school is good. We use it at different levels. It matters. But I'm gonna probably prioritize those 175 days where everyone has to be there more than I would prioritize stuff in the summer. And again, don't mishear that as summer school doesn't matter. It does. But we as a district need to be able to decide what resources go for the 175 days, what resources go for summer school, what funding pockets can we use. And so if it gets categorical and very prescriptive from Cheyenne, it'll just be more and more difficult, as you were mentioning with the insurance stuff. You want me to keep going? You good? I'm good.
Just as an example, if it were made categorical, then the 0.6 full-time CTE teachers we get will be all we get if they make that categorical. We will lose most of our CTE program. That's just one example of how taking that local control away from us will hurt our kids, and that is just unconscionable to me. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Is there anything else? Go ahead, Brad.
But Madam Chair, remember, we have heard time and time again how we value CTE programs in the state of Wyoming.
Anything else? Okay. Moving on to future agenda items. Do we have any future agenda items? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on to discussion items. H, consider trustee committee appointments. Go ahead.
I told you guys in December that I had looked at a model for shrinking our committees down from 8 to 5 and eliminating a little bit of overlap, and so that's what you have here. So but if anybody thinks it should be changed or something added, just totally open to that, because this is basically the first draft that you're seeing.
I think it's a good idea. I think it gives a better chance to meet a little bit more often if you got 5 versus 8. Is there any other discussion or anybody have anything to add to that? Do we want to appoint people now or?
Just ask, or ask who wants to be on what.
Okay. So the first committee will be transportation, which will be routes, maintenance, vehicle acquisition and disposal. Do I have? Is that the new one?
Yeah. here.
What? This
This is
is,
the new, oh, okay, there's the old one.
so right now we have Tyler, Jason, Sean, and Susie on the routes and salaries. Paul, Tyler, Joe, and Jason on the maintenance and new vehicles. So we'll just combine those two. So do I have 4 volunteers? Okay. So we got Kyle, Jason, Tyler. Sorry. I'm still back to that, Madam. I'm still back to Madam Chairman. So Tyler, sorry about that. Yeah. Jason, Sean, and Joe. Okay. Who wants to be the committee chair of that bunch? Tyler? Okay. All right. The next one won't be combined is buildings and grounds, which is myself, Joe, Sean, Dan and Man. I'm good with staying on it. Good. We'll keep those 4. Everyone's good with that? Okay. Who wants to be the committee chair of that bunch? Sean? Okay.
Should have nominated somebody, Sean.
Yeah. So the next one I'm looking at is curriculum and policy review, which did we combine? I just see
No,
curriculum.
it's
Okay,
Well,
so we just added.
Yeah,
curriculum.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
so we didn't combine that one. So I have Dana, Susie, myself, and Dana. Do we have anybody else that would like to be on that? I could step down if someone else wants to be on that. Good. Okay, we'll stay with those 4. Who would like to be the committee chair of that?
who are we?
We're in curriculum, so it's still, yeah.
Okay.
Would you like to be chair? You
I.
will?
We're
Okay.
good, thank you.
Okay. Dana will be chair of that bunch. Next we will combine the finance, professional salaries, right?
Yep, staff.
Staff.
Finance,
Yeah.
human resources.
So that's all one. So that's combining the finance and the professional salaries, which we currently have Joe, Susie, Dana, Sean, Dana, Paul, and Dana. So we want 4 on that group. We'll just start
I'd
all.
be willing to chair that since
Okay.
I'm board treasurer too.
Okay. So we'll have you on there. Okay. Dana. Paul, you want to stay on that one? Okay. I think. Okay. Susie, would you mind staying on this one or? Okay. Okay, so I think we got everybody on that one, right? Moving on to technology and safety.
I will say I had Paul in mind to chair that since he had done all that research on the safety stuff.
Okay. Paul, do you mind being the chair on that?
I don't know. Does the board think I can handle a leadership role?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So we got Paul and Jason, you want to stay on that?
Yeah.
Okay, can we get 2 more members of that? Joe? And, okay. So, and then Paul, you'll be the chair of that. Does everyone are you fine with staying with the Northeast?
Yeah.
Is everyone fine with Jason staying with the Northeast? Okay. Did you want to stay with EWC? Is everyone good with that? Wellness Committee representative, and I'm gonna tell you, I've probably been slacking on this one, but I was the current member of that. Do we have somebody else that would want to be? Would you, Susie? Okay,
Should be great.
okay. I think that is everybody. Okay,
Everybody for going with it.
okay. Next, we'll move on to part 2 of discussion items, review policy KCD, public gifts to school. Did everyone have a chance to review the policy?
Let's see, which is,
Okay.
good. Okay. I did have a question about one part. Let me-
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, oh, there it is, okay. On policy KCD, item number 6, it says will not be in conflict with any provision of the school code or public law. So if you ask me what the school code was, I don't know what it is. I think it should say policy with school or with district policy instead of school code. That's the only thing I thought was a little confusing on there. So
Okay.
I would move to edit that.
Okay. Instead of
It's not as substantive.
school
to
code, just
district policy.
district policy or public law. Yes. Abby, are you on here?
I am.
Okay, did you hear that question, I guess?
I didn't hear that question. I'm sorry.
On
So-
policy, oh, go ahead, Brad.
Abby, the question is, so when you look at that policy, number one, it is quite dated. But at that time, legal counsel thought it was important to have the word code. Does changing that to policy change anything in your opinion?
No, it doesn't, and I think that is just old language. And you'll see it in like municipal codes versus policies. Like sometimes there are differences, but that was kind of used interchangeably. So I think that's a good revision to make.
Okay, thank you, Abby. Does anybody see anything else we need to change in any of those? Okay. We don't need to vote on that, do we? And we'll have a next meeting, okay. Okay. Do I have a motion to go in executive session to discuss a student matter?
Oh, second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to go into executive session to discuss student matter. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.